Hello students, today's topic is Gouround shading. Before understand about the Gouround shading, we have to understand why Gouround shading we will use. So the problem is flat shading or constant intensity shading. Because of this problem we have to use Gouround shading. So before understand about the Gouround shading, you have to understand why we have to use Gouround shading and what is the problem is coming, so that for the resolve or solution we have to use Gouround shading. Okay, so first we will discuss about the problem. So what is the problem name is flat shading or constant intensity shading. For an example, we have one polygon which have three faces or three surfaces, which every surface have their own normal vector. For example, here three surfaces are there, three normal vector are there, and in every normal vector have their own intensity. So we have to find out intensity and normal vector multiplication, then you according to that value you can shade that surface. When you have to do this thing, then you can see all shades are different in every surface. This is the problem. So for this problem solution we have to use Gouround shading. So Gouround shading problem when we have to solve this problem, we have to use intensity of interpolation method. What is the intensity interpolation method? Means that if one surface is there where two endpoints, one line is there and where two points are there, two endpoints are there, p1 and p2. Between p1 and p2, any time any point value you have to find out. This is called the interpolation method. I hope you can remember. We will discuss this interpolation in the curve part. Okay, so anyway, so this is called the intensity interpolation method. So this time if you are using intensity interpolation method in the Gouround shading, you have to go for the three steps. What are the three steps are there? First step is determine the average unit normal vector at each polygon vertex. Second step, apply illumination model to each polygon vertex to determine polygon vertex intensity. And third step is linearly interpolate the vertex intensities over the surface of polygon. You can see all three steps, but now you have to understand how we have to use these three steps in the Gouround shading. So let's take an example. We have one diagram here. This diagram is one polygon which have 1 2 3 4 5 faces are there. Okay, every face have their own vertex also. Okay, so if we are showing one vertex, value will be v. Okay, so you have to see according to first step. What you have to do, determine the average unit normal vector at each polygon vertex. So here you can see one polygon vertex is v. Now you have to understand this v vertex combining with how many normal vectors. And normal vectors, how you can find out? Every faces, every surfaces of that polygon which are shared with this vertex. So here three surfaces are there, so three surfaces have their own normal vectors. So n1 surface, oh sorry, one surface have n1, second surface have n2 normal vector, and third surface have n3 normal vector. So these three normal vectors are shared one vertex. So now you have to find out the average of these normal vectors. So first step, nv, normal vector v is equal to n1 plus n2 plus n3 divided by mod of n1 plus n2 plus n3, or summation of I is equal to 1 to n, where small n is the number of surfaces sharing to vertex v, ni, divided by mod of summation of I is equal to 1 to n ni. So this equation is the general equation for any type of polygon. Okay, now we are coming on the second step. In the second step you have to apply the illumination model and get intensity of every vertex. Okay, so from this you can understand about the any illumination model you have to use it. After getting all the intensity of each vertex, you have to go on the third step. In the third step, what you have to do, linearly interpolate the vertex intensities over the surface of polygon. how you can interpolate linearly of every vertex of the polygon? Now I have to show you. In this diagram you can see one polygon is there where three vertices are there, 1 2 3. According to each vertex, they have their own coordinates are there, x1 y1 for one vertex, two vertex are x2 y2, and three vertex have the coordinates x3 y3. Every coordinate, every vertex have their own intensity value also there, because as in the step 2 you already find out all the intensity values of each vertex. Okay, so here 1 2 3 every have the intensity value I1 I2 and I3. So now the third step is start. Okay, so here two one scan line is coming y1, which are going and intercepting polygon in the 1 2 edge and 2 3 edge in the point of A and B. Okay, so you have to find out the intensity values of A and B, and in between A and B there is one point P. So for this 3 points you have to find out the intensity value. Okay, so how you can find out? You can see here intensity of the point A, IA is equal to YA minus Y2 divided by Y1 minus Y2 I1 plus Y1 minus YA divided by Y1 minus Y2 I2. I know you don't understand how this formula is coming, so here I will tell you. A point, in the A point you can see where A point existing, this is existing in the 1 2 edge. So every time whenever you want to use any point intensity, you have to check first which edge it is coming. Okay, so here 1 2 edge is coming, so here A YA minus Y2, first you have to consider in the downside part another point. Okay, so A have their own coordinates x comma y, we have to understand. Okay, so YA minus Y2 second point. Okay, when you are taking y2, that time you have to consider intensity of another vertex. So here you can see ya minus y2 I1 divided by y1 minus y2 plus y1 minus ya divided by y1 minus y2. As you can see here I am taking y1, so intensity value we have to take another vertex, means I2 divided by y minus y2. So like this you have to find out the IA intensity. According to this, same as you have to find out B and P also. So for B you can see IB is equal to YB minus y2 divided by y2 minus y3 I3, because it will be existing on the 2 3 edge. Okay, so here plus y3 minus yb divided by y2 minus y3 I2, and intensity of P value which will be existing on the AB edge. So here IP is equal to XB minus XP divided by XB minus XA IA plus XP minus XA divided by XB minus XA IB. You can understand. If you have any problem you can ask me also. Okay, so like this you can understand and you can find out all the intensities of the Gouround shading. Now you have to understand how we can minimize the calculation. So if you have another scanline y2 and it will be intercepting point C in the 1 2 edge. So how you can calculate IC? IC value is equal to IA plus I2 minus I1 divided by Y1 minus Y2. In this formula you can see I2 minus I1 divided by Y1 minus Y2 are the constant. So once you have to calculate this constant value, and next any point you can find out by adding this constant plus before value. Okay, so like this it will be calculation is so much easy. So this type these things are called the Gouround shading. In the Gouround shading have some advantages and disadvantages also. What are the advantages? Advantages are the removing all the flat shading problems. And what are the disadvantages are there? Disadvantages are there straight line or match band. This problem is coming because of interpolation. So for this problem solving we have to use specular reflection or the Phong shading, which we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.